Well, Dave, after the concern, I suppose, about the manner of the defeat on Tuesday as much as anything else, what's been the reaction and response internally to the game since then?
Um, we shut down the game, which we got the players involved in doing. You have to, like I say, you got to be honest around how the game looks and what things you have to go through in order to learn from it. And regardless of results, regardless of game plan, we can look at that and go, we've conceded 3 goals from set pieces, 2 of them second phase, which is poor from our perspective. And regardless of what game plan you have, if that's going to be the case, then you're going to be in trouble over the course of the rest of the season. So it's looking at that. It's some home truths around what it looks like, and it's again getting understanding and ideas from the players how to make sure that doesn't happen again. I just think, again, take all of that out of it. I look at us being able to do the basics. Was there a lot in the game? Well, there was, in terms of us conceding bad goals and bad goals that were momentum killers, but we didn't do enough in terms of what our values are as a team. And regardless of whether you're then good or bad technically, tactically, if you don't win your individual battles, if you don't compete, if you don't do the basics well, you make it really, really difficult to win games of football.
I'm sure you'll be hoping for and expecting a response this weekend, a reaction. And in fairness, on the rare occasions this season when you've maybe not put in a performance, you've tended to get that response from the players.
Yeah, not so much a reaction. A normal version of ourselves is enough for me. I hate losing, but unfortunately, that we're involved in a sport and industry where that's going to be the case at any level. And I suppose there's an acceptable way to not win. And I didn't feel that was the case on Tuesday, because we've got to be true to us, and there'll be group values that we have, there'll be individual values that the players have for themselves, and I think we dropped below those standards on Tuesday. And in the cold light of day, you look at it and we can analyse and look at how we've conceded goals. I've said it before, if that's the case and we're not great, then we've got to make sure that we're robust, we're solid, we keep clean sheets, something we've not done over the recent past, to be fair, and we need to get back to being that, as well as being free flowing if we can be, or if not, at least efficient at the other end of the pitch.
Just getting an injury update from you, in particular on Akil, right, who in the courtyard before the game seemed to indicate that the injury was worse than probably initially expected. Is that the case?
Honest answer, I don't know. He's been scanned, and the initial scan that we've had read hasn't said that will be the case, but he's been given some information that worst case scenario it could look like that for what's been said on how the scan has been read. I'd like to certainly wait. The normal specialist who reads our scans is currently away, and he's away for a week, and we're much more comfortable in getting his opinion on what that looks like. That's not going to make any difference to Aki's treatment. He's going to be out for at least a week or a few weeks. Like I said when it first happened, I would hope that it would be, optimistically, around 4 weeks. Did I think he'd be back a week earlier than that? Hopefully, but probably not. Would it be a week later? Maybe. I would hope it wouldn't be whether it's him or someone else has said. But listen, if that's the case, that's the case. It's really, really easy. And I've just been chatting there with someone who is very experienced to what football looks like. And again, we have scans, and we scan everybody at every possible moment you could do with a scan on your knee, to be fair. But you treat the man, not the scan. So if a scan says that someone's got this injury, whether they're out for that long or whether they recover quicker, which has been the case with some of our lads in a positive light, just as much as in other instances they'll be out for longer than a scan might say. So you treat functional symptoms, and if that means that they're back running 3 weeks earlier than we hope, based on what someone's told us, based on a picture of someone's internal muscles, then that's a positive. So we'll expect a certain amount of time. Listen, can we plan for it? That makes no difference to us, really, because we're transfer window shut. So we can look at free agents, but we hope that if there's disappointment in one and someone's out for a bit longer than maybe we thought, then hopefully there's somebody will reduce the time that they're out, and we've got a couple that are maybe going to exceed that, which again will be a positive.
It must make things difficult defensively this season, though, because on the one side you've got Fraser, who's started every league game for you this season, but on the other side, Ethan, Akil, Bernard, they've all had injuries at different points of the season, so Fraser's never had the opportunity to have that settled partnership, if you like, and as a centre-half yourself, how important is it to have that?
Of course it's important, but what you do? You have to get on with it. We've had the same with, you could put Noyler, you could put Maka into that boat, you could put Ibby to a certain degree, international duty, you could put Ryan Rydell out. So that is an unfortunate consequence of football and what it brings. So there are challenges, but challenge is good, and we've overcome a lot of those challenges up to this point in the season. So if that continues for the next 3 months, and we successfully overcome it as we have so far, then we'll be in a decent place.
In the short term, does it potentially open up an opportunity for someone like Reece Bennett, who's had to be patient so far for his chances coming in?
Yeah, it opens up opportunities for everybody. We are short on defensive numbers. That's pretty obvious. I've got people coming back. Easton won't be too far away. We've got, like I say, we had the positive having midfield players come back, but still working on getting them up to speed, if you like, and that'll continue to be the case over the next two or 3 weeks. And like I say, we'll deal, or we'll play the cards that we're dealt, and I'm sure, unfortunately, there'll be twists and turns in terms of players' availability over not just the next part of the season, the remainder of the season. That's something we've overcome, as I say, in the past, and we've got to crack on again.
Just brings me on to my next question about Will Collar as well, who's the next in line, if you like, in terms of coming back. Could he be involved on Saturdays with that temptation to throw him straight back in?
Could he be involved? Yeah, I absolutely could be involved. Is there still some, not so much physical hurdles that we need to tick off with Will, in terms of, can he be out there and do everything? Yeah, he can be out there and do everything. But there are, I suppose, load markers over the course of the weeks that Will, in a normal week, as a fully fit attacking midfielder, will do a certain amount of distance, a certain amount of high-speed running, a certain amount of sprinting. And those parameters need tweaking up week on week, ideally, in a blue sky thinking environment. We hope to get him back involved as quickly as possible, because he's quite evidently an important player for us, and one that, although results-wise and where we sit might not look like we've missed, we've certainly missed, because he gives us real options, and is key to any success, or the success we've had over the past two and a bit years. So yeah, we can have him back involved. We need to be careful. We've got lots of games coming up, and we might have to manage his minutes to a certain degree, but even to have him, like I say, as an option for us is a huge positive.
Just looking at your old club, Tranmere Rovers, actually fell into the relegation zone after that defeat at Edgeley Park back in October. And I think you said at the time that you felt and certainly hoped that they wowould get themselves out of that situation, and credit to them, they've certainly done that since then. Yeah,
they obviously made a change, and Nigel then took the job permanently. Probably a bit of a surprise to everyone, to be honest, based on the conversations that certainly I'd had with him. But as sort of steadied the ship, as you would expect it, or as I expected he would, and without getting loads of results initially, sort of gradually built confidence and got themselves on a run that's taken them, like I say, well away from that point. And I think you pause the season now, and their status is secured in the league, which from when Nigel went in, that was the target initially, and they've done that, like I say, really comfortably. That gives them chance to plan and prepare, and ultimately try and build on the run they've had since he took over permanently, to plan and look forward to the rest of this season, but also what next season holds for them, and having I suppose a more significant go on being at the top half of the table. So they've had up and down results of late, but listen, it's a tough game. It was a tough game, regardless of the scoreline in the first game, and every game this season has shown that's always going to be the case. So looking forward to it. Like I say, we've got our own little rights to wrong, if you like, from Tuesday, as I'm sure Tranmere will, based on the result they had. So looking forward to it. Hopefully, like I say, we can get back to being us. And regardless of what the outcome is of the game, if we're us, then I think we give ourselves a good chance of getting something from it.
Always a great atmosphere at Prenton Park too, and to be backed by over 2,000 county fans, it just makes for a great occasion on Saturday. Yeah,
absolutely, and especially you always find that the case when an away team can travel in numbers, then the home supporters are buoyed by that, and there's a lot more atmosphere around the whole ground. I'm sure that will be the case. Like I say, for myself and Clint, we've been there when it's been packed with 16,000, so know what that place can be like. Just as, again, actually not too dissimilar in terms of what the ground almost is really, and how it looks. So looking forward to it. Big opportunity for us, great game to be involved in. Like I say, they're always good when you're only 15 minutes from home, and Clint even less. So hopefully we can, like I say, we can back them supporters that will turn up and give us absolutely everything with 3 massive points.
Appreciate your time, Dave. Thank you.
Welcome. Cheers. Thank you.